Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. In this lecture, we are going to study the design of commutating components of voltage commutated chopper. In the part number 1, we have covered the working, that is operating modes of this voltage commutated chopper. In the second part, we have studied the output waveforms of this chopper, and in this part we are going to derive the expression which come under the design of commutating components of voltage commutated chopper. So first we are going to derive the value of capacitance, then we are going to derive the minimum and maximum value of inductance, then we are going to see the observation based on the equation derived. First we will see what is voltage commutated chopper. Voltage commutated chopper is a chopper in which we use voltage commutation process. So in this chopper, a reverse voltage across the capacitor is applied to the conducting SCR. When a reverse voltage which is across the capacitor is applied to the conducting SCR, this conducting SCR goes into the reverse bias condition and eventually it turns off. So the process of turning off the conducting SCR with the reverse voltage across the capacitor is called as voltage commutation process, and when we use the voltage commutation in a chopper circuit, then that type of chopper is called as voltage commutated chopper, and this chopper is used in high power circuits where the load fluctuation is not very large. That means where the load current is constant, we use this type of chopper. Next is commutation circuit. This is the commutation circuit which consists of a capacitor C, auxiliary SCR TA, diode D and inductor L1. So the commutation components in this circuit is auxiliary SCR TA, which is also called as auxiliary thyristor, then capacitor C and inductor L1. First we will see the design of commutating capacitor C. For this we will consider mode number 3 operation of the voltage commutated chopper. This mode number 3 operation goes from time t is equal to t2 to time t is equal to t3. Here you can see this is the load voltage or output voltage waveform for the voltage commutated chopper, and this is the circuit diagram of the chopper circuit when it is working in the mode number 3 operation. So at time t is equal to t2, what happens? This auxiliary thyristor TA is given trigger pulse so that we can off this conducting thyristor TM. So to off the conducting thyristor TM, this auxiliary thyristor is given a trigger pulse. When it is given a trigger pulse, it goes into the on condition. That means it starts conducting the current and it will act as short circuit, or you can say it is acting as a closed switch. When it will act as closed switch, the voltage across the capacitor, which is equal to minus of Vs, will come across this conducting thyristor Tm. When the reverse voltage across the capacitor comes across the conducting thyristor, this thyristor will go into the reverse bias condition and eventually turns off. When it turns off, it will act as open circuit, as you can see in the diagram. Because this capacitor can be connected parallel to this main thyristor here, when this auxiliary thyristor is acting as a short circuit, so this reverse voltage across the capacitor will come across the main thyristor and it goes into the off condition. So voltage across the main thyristor Tm is represented by Vt1. So when we apply KVL in this loop, we will get Vt1 is equal to minus of Vs. Now in this circuit, load current will flow from Vs to V0, that means from source to load, through the capacitor and auxiliary thyristor TA, as you can see from this red line. So when we apply KVL in this loop, we will get plus Vs, then again plus Vs, which is the voltage across the capacitor, then minus of V0 is equal to 0. So from this KVL equation, we will get load voltage is equal to 2 times of source voltage. So at time t is equal to T2, the voltage across the load will be 2 into Vs. At another instant, that is time t is equal to T2 plus Tc, the voltage across the capacitor becomes 0. That means Vc is equal to 0, because now here we can see that the capacitor is getting path to discharge itself. Therefore the capacitor will discharge through the load, and at an instant of time t is equal to T2 plus Tc, the capacitor voltage becomes 0. When the capacitor voltage becomes 0, by this KVL equation you can see here, this term of the KVL equation will be 0 because this is the voltage across the capacitor. So what we will get? The output voltage will be equal to plus of Vs at time T2 plus Tc, and this Tc is called as circuit turn off time. Now again at time t is equal to T3, what happens? This capacitor again charged to a voltage which is equal to plus Vs. Okay, that means at time t is equal to T3, the polarity of the voltage across the capacitor will be reversed, that is plus on the upper plate minus on the lower plate. At time t is equal to T3, when we apply KVL equation in this loop, what we will get? Plus Vs, this voltage is minus of Vs, then minus of V0 is equal to 0. This plus Vs and this minus Vs get cancel out and we will get load voltage is equal to 0. So at time t is equal to T3, the load voltage or output voltage will be equal to 0 here. So we will use this mode number 3 for designing the commutating capacitor. In order that the SCR is turned off completely, it should be reverse biased for sufficient amount of time. So here in the waveform of the load voltage, we can see that the SCR should be reversed biased for the time T2 plus Tc. This time is T2 plus Tc, and this time span is our circuit turn off time Tc. Therefore, the circuit turn off time should be greater than equal to SCR turn off time, which is represented by T off. Here circuit turn off time is the time required for which the main SCR is reverse bias. So the commutating capacitor should be large enough to ensure that this circuit turn off time is greater than equal to the SCR turn off time. So if we take the circuit turn off time is greater than the SCR turn off time, then we can assume that this Tc is equal to T off plus small time del t. In the mode number 3 operation, we have seen that the current through the capacitor is equal to the load current. This is the load current I0. So in this mode number 3 operation, current through the capacitor can be taken as I0. So we know that the current through the capacitor is given by equation C dVc by dt, where Vc is the voltage across the capacitor. So I0 will be equal to C dVc by dt. So while studying the operating modes of the voltage commutated chopper, we have assumed the load current to be constant and ripple free. Therefore, if this is constant, so this total value will be constant only. From this circuit, we can see that the voltage across the capacitor is changing from minus Vs to 0 in the time Tc. That means in the circuit turn off time Tc, the voltage across the capacitor is changing from minus Vs to 0 here. We can take dVc is equal to Vs as the change of voltage across the capacitor in time Tc is equal to Vs only. Therefore, the time dt will be equal to Tc we can take. So when we put these values here, we will get I0 is equal to C into Vs divided by Tc. So from this equation, the capacitance value will be equal to I0 into Tc divided by Vs. And if we put Tc is equal to T of plus del T, then we will get I0 equation as C into Vs divided by T of plus del T. So from this equation also we get one equation of the capacitance is equal to I0 into T of plus del T divided by Vs. And from this equation, if we find out the circuit turn off time Tc, it will be equal to C into Vs divided by I0. Next one is design of commutating inductor L1. This commutating inductor L1 works in the mode number 1 operation only when this LC tank circuit comes into picture. So this is the circuit diagram of voltage commutated chopper in the first mode of operation, and this is the waveforms for the capacitor current and main thyristor current IT1 in the first mode of operation. So in the first mode of operation, before the time t is equal to 0, what happens? This capacitor is initially charged with plus Vs. That means Vc will be equal to plus Vs prior to the application of trigger pulse. At time t is equal to 0, what happens? This main thyristor Tm is given trigger pulse. When it is given trigger pulse, it goes into the on condition and first mode of operation starts. So in the first mode of operation, the voltage across the capacitor will be equal to plus Vs. The diode will go into the on condition because this minus on the lower plate of the capacitor goes to the N side of this D diode and it starts conducting. The auxiliary thyristor will be in the off condition and the freewheeling diode will also be in the off condition. The value of inductor L1 decides two parameters. First parameter is the value of the peak current passing through the main thyristor Tm. Let the current through the main thyristor is IT1. So this inductor L1 decides the maximum value of current flowing through this main thyristor. So from this circuit diagram, if we represent the current flowing through the capacitor is IC, the current flowing through the load as I0, then if we apply KCL here, we will get the main thyristor current IT1 will be equal to IC plus I0 here. So from this waveforms, we can see that at time t is equal to T1 by 2, the maximum value of capacitor current is occurring, which is equal to Vs into under root C by L, and the maximum value of the main thyristor current IT1 is also occurring, which is equal to I0 plus maximum value of this capacitor current. So at time T1 by T2, the IC maximum will be equal to Vs into under root C by L1. From this circuit diagram, the main thyristor current will be equal to I0 plus IC. So when we are taking the maximum value of the main thyristor current or peak value of the main thyristor current IT1 maximum, it will be equal to I0 plus IC maximum. So we put the value here, we will get I0 plus Vs into under root C by L1. So from this equation we can see that if we increase the value of L1, then the maximum value of the main thyristor current will be decreased, and when we take the low value of inductance here, then the maximum value of the main thyristor current will be increased. So hence we can conclude that the value of peak current passing through the main thyristor Tm also decided by the L1. Now let the peak capacitor current equal to or less than the load current so that the peak current through the main thyristor is large. So we can represent IC maximum smaller than equal to I0. So we will put the value of IC maximum here. We will get Vs into under root C by L1 smaller than equal to I0. When we square both sides, we will get this type of equation. From this equation, we will get L1 greater than equal to Vs square divided by I0 square into C. Now when we put the value of C in this equation, which is equal to I0 into T of plus del T divided by Vs, we will get L1 greater than equal to this type of equation. From here this I0 get cancelled out, then Vs and this Vs get cancelled out, and we will get L1 greater than equal to Vs upon I0 into T of plus del T. So this equation represents that inductance L1 value should be greater than equal to this value. That means we are getting minimum value of L1 from this equation. So L1 minimum will be equal to Vs upon I0 into T of plus del T. Second parameter which is decided by this commutated inductor L1 is on period of the SCR. So from these waveforms we can see that the minimum on period of the SCR will be equal to T1 only, because in the mode number 1 operation for this time only the SCR is in the on condition. So T1 is the minimum on period of the SCR, which is taken as T on minimum. So we can take T1 is equal to T on minimum. And from this graph we have found out T1 is equal to pi upon omega naught. How this came? Because here we can see that the IC current is sinusoidal in nature and this is a positive half cycle occurring in the first mode of operation. So this instant can be taken as pi. So we can equate pi is equal to omega naught into T1. So from this equation we will get T1 is equal to pi upon omega naught. So we can write T on minimum is equal to pi upon omega naught, and we know that omega naught is equal to 1 upon under root LC. When we put this value here, we will get pi into under root L1 into C. Now the minimum value of load voltage is VL minimum is equal to T on minimum by T into Vs. This equation we have already derived when we have studied the step down chopper. So in that step down chopper, the average value of load voltage will be equal to on period by total time period into the supply voltage. So since here we are taking the minimum on time, so we can represent VL minimum will be equal to minimum on period divided by total time period into Vs. Now in order to vary the load voltage over the wide range, the VL minimum value should be equal to or less than the 10% of the supply voltage. So we are taking VL minimum more than equal to 0.1 into Vs. Okay, now we will put the equation of VL minimum from here. We will get T on minimum divided by T into Vs more than equal to 0.1 Vs. Okay, now we will put T on minimum equation. We will get pi into under root L1 into C divided by T smaller than equal to 0.1. Again we will square both sides and we will find out L1 value. We will get L1 smaller than equal to 0.01 T square divided by pi square into C. Now we will put this equation of capacitance here. We will get L1 smaller than equal to 0.01 T square divided by pi square into I naught into T of plus del T into Vs. So this equation represents the inductor L1 value should be smaller than equal to this value. That means we are getting here the maximum value of L1 which is equal to this equation. Now let us define what is the minimum on time, which is also called as resetting time, and it is represented by T1 or T on minimum. It is the duration in which the capacitor voltage reverses its polarity from plus Vs to minus Vs. Now let us see the observation based on the derivation we have done in this lecture. First we have taken the peak value of capacitor current IC maximum is equal to Vs into under root C by L1. So if we increase the value of L1, then peak value of the capacitor current IC maximum will decrease here. But when we increase the value of L1, then what happens? The minimum on time of the SCR will also increase. And from this equation of VL minimum, if the minimum on period of the SCR T1 will increase, what happens? This VL minimum also increase. That means minimum load voltage will increase if the minimum on period will increase. And if the minimum load voltage will increase, then the range of load voltage V0 will be reduced. Now in order to vary the load voltage V0 over wide range, the minimum value of the load voltage, that is VL minimum, should be taken less than equal to 10% of the source voltage or supply voltage Vs, as we have taken in the derivation. So hope you have understood this lecture. Thank you very much for watching, and please do subscribe my channel for more updates.